The Vikings get back into the win column with a 19-13 victory over the Chicago Bears, their first divisional win of the season. I'm Tatum Everett. This is Ben Leber, and you're watching Between the Lines, presented by Continental Diamond. And Ben, let's just start with the defensive effort this game.
Yeah.
5 sacks, 3 turnovers. Overall, what were your impressions of that unit?
Well, I thought really from the get-go they were physical. I mean, you could see the guys really flying around. I thought B-Flow really called a great game, especially early on. It seemed like he knew either tendency-wise or maybe just his instincts were really heightened to what they were trying to run. Every time they would throw a drop back, he'd bring a blitz. Every time that they want to do something else, he'd drop 8 guys in coverage. And so I thought that his feel for this offense was spot on, especially early in the game. And physically, like I said, we played a little bit faster than them, especially in the first half.
And the defensive score proved to be the difference in this contest. It was really exciting to see 2 interceptions, the scoop and score by Jordan Hicks. However, Josh Metellus felt like he played with his hair on fire today.
Oh my God, absolutely. I mean, we've been talking about him in this like 3 safety look, really from the start of the season. What's it going to look like, and is how well developed is Metellus, and is he going to keep improving, and all these other things, all these other question marks. He came out from the very first series. They run a play. In my day, back in the day, we called it a counter flip, where it really requires the guy on the outside to be disciplined. And as fast as we were playing, for him in that moment to not go for the fake, to be disciplined on the outside for when they flipped that ball to the running back and him getting a tackle for loss, it showed me that he was dialed in. He was going to play fast, but he was also going to play focused and disciplined, and that really carried throughout the whole game.
It was his first career sack. He also got 3 quarterback hits, which was just great to see the defense looking a little bit more in tune throughout the entirety of the game. We've seen them kind of struggle there in the second half. What did you see from halftime, especially with the quarterback change from them?
Yeah, they, their quarterback did a great job. I mean, he came in and looked like, the moment wasn't too big for him. They really started to attack a little bit more downfield. And I do think that, our coverages are calling for a little bit more off coverage. We were giving them a little bit more of a cushion, but they did take advantage of it. And I don't think in the second half we were getting to the quarterback nearly as well without bringing the blitz. I thought in the first half we did a good job with just a 4-man rush, bringing some stunts from both sides, getting some pressure on the quarterback. Second half didn't do that as much, so they had a little bit more time to sit in the pocket and pick us apart.
Well, this offense wanted to pick the Bears defense apart in this one. However, it was probably one of the slowest performances of the year for Kirk Cousins and crew, maybe in part due to Justin Jefferson not being in the game. How did this team fare, in your opinion, the offense fare, in your opinion, without the star?
It was a little sloppy, a little clunky, and I was a little disappointed about that the Bears defense just played more physical than we did for 4 quarters. We had some tough yards on the ground. I think KOC really wanted to stick with the ground game, and that was pretty intentional, that even though some things weren't working, he was going to stick with it. So that I applaud him for, because we need to do that. We need to find some rhythm and at least give the defense something to think about if we're going to use play action, which is going to be a big part of our offense. But they were more physical than us. I mean, there was not a lot of holes there. Akers came in and did a little bit of damage finding some holes, but credit to those guys up front on defense. They played really, really well. And then a lot of our passes were sort of checkdowns. We didn't have a lot of big down the field deep threats. Addison had that one up against our own sideline, couldn't come down with it. Does that change things, a little bit, how we call the offense if we could hit him on that deep shot? Otherwise, they kind of outplayed us a little bit on defense.
Yeah, despite the lessening of the explosive plays and the drop passes, there was a bright spot in Jordan Addison's touchdown. He now has 4 touchdowns in 6 games, which is great for this rookie. What did you see from him? I know he had spoke a lot about needing to step up this week. How did you see his maybe efforts change as he took the field today?
Well, I'd like to see a little bit more out of him when it comes to man-to-man coverage and those things where it might be a zone but turns into man. He's got to do a little bit better job of just getting separation, getting back to the football as well, making himself a bigger target. But when it comes to zone coverage, he has a great feel for how to weave in and out to find those soft spots, and that's what happened on that touchdown pass. And credit to our offensive line. They gave Kirk the time. They gave Addison the time to wait for that thing to develop. He just kind of snuck in right behind the corner. And there's a soft spot between the safety and the corner, and he did a good job of just sitting down and just waiting for that thing to open up, and Kirk found it.
Now we look ahead to a Monday Night Football contest as the Vikings welcome in the 49ers as the next opponent on the schedule. Ben, what do you make of that matchup coming in?
Well, we all know that right now it seems to be the 49ers and the Dolphins that are really just kind of running away with this whole the whole NFL right now. They've got obviously a physical brand of football. They get the ball around on offense. They're very efficient on offense. Purdy's doing a great job. In that defense, they win with that defensive front. That is a scary looking defensive front seven. Fred Warner, to me personally, is one of my favorite defensive players in the league. It's going to be a lot. We cannot make any mistakes. But first and foremost, we have to match their intensity. We have to be as physical as they are. And that's the thing that is a little concerning, because against this Bears defense and even against their offensive line, I did not think that we matched up well physically in this game today. So a lot has to happen for us physically in the next week. And
now this team has an extra day to get ready for the 49ers. They'll enjoy this victory for 24 hours, and it's back to work, back in the film, back at TCOPC, just to get ready for this big Monday Night Football game. This has been Between the Lines, read by Continental Diamond. Thanks to Ben. I'm Tatum. We'll see you in a week.